Are you currently in a position to prosper in your life? It's an interesting question when you think about that. Most people don't have an answer to that. Ask your friends, ask your coworkers, ask people that you hang around, are they positioned to prosper? What are we doing if we're not positioning ourselves to prosper? And so in that, I have three thoughts or three things that can really help elevate our positioning to prosper where we're going. The first one being awareness. For most people, they don't have an answer to that because they simply have fallen into the trap of average or fallen into the trap of being that frog in boiling water. For most people, if you don't take time to think about where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish, it's easy to fall into those same routines, those same habits. It's important that we step back and really demystify what it means to be successful. Step one to that: who are the people in our lives that we see on TV or people that we personally know that we would call a success? And when you start to unpack their lives and you start to say, what was their level of awareness? What were the things that they started to carve out that meant something to them? It really demystifies it, really like the Wizard of Oz, when you thought there was this grand thing it took to actually be this wizard, but you realized it was just a man or a woman behind the curtains. And so it really starts with a level of awareness. Here's the key distinction. Once we become aware of what the things are that we want to prosper in, or the things that we have these gaps, how do we take one step, just one step towards closing that gap? Now the second part, the second one that we can do to help close that gap or help elevate us in a position to prosper is presetting our self-talk. They say that the average person has somewhere between 12 and 60,000 thoughts every single day. 12 to 60,000 thoughts.
Wow.
Now we can't always control what we think, but we can always control what we say. And so think about that just for a second. When you mess up or when you do something bad, what are you saying to yourself, either out loud or in your mind? Most of us aren't very kind to ourselves. Well, think about that just for a second. What if a friend of yours talked to you the way that you talk to you when you mess up? Odds are it wouldn't take very long and you're no longer going to be friends with that person. Here's the key. You have 24/7 access to yourself, and so every word is important, because that's what builds momentum. That's what builds your self-esteem. See, I can relate. When I was growing up, I grew up in an environment that wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was very neutral. And so I didn't come preset with self-talk that was beneficial. I wasn't overly negative, but I realized at the end of each day, I had to weigh out how much negative talk did I have versus how much positive. And that is a key to elevating yourself to put you in a position to prosper. Now, the third thing that puts us in a position to prosper is simply inch it forward. Too many people have these dreams and then just leave their dreams up in the clouds without taking steps of how do I get there? To put an analogy to it, it's like they're waiting for this magic bean and Jack and the Beanstalk that's gonna take them to their dreams just magically or without the work. Meanwhile, when we unpack the lives of those people who are successful, they were busy building that ladder to how to get to that success. And so how do you take your dreams, your aspirations out of the clouds and bring it down into practical steps? The magic really is in the margins, and there's practicality in progress. There's magic in the margins, practicality in progress. And so really, how can I inch this thing forward? How can I make sure that today I'm a step better than I was yesterday, and make plans to take that next step tomorrow? So with that, as you identify those things, unpack. What is that one step that you can take? Drop a comment below and say, as you identify these things, what's one thing that you can take to move it forward? What's one thing that you can do to grow your awareness? What's one thing you can do to preset your self-talk? And as you do so, envision what your higher potential is. Do so with intention to have a position to prosper, and choose to be phenomenal. I'll see you guys next time.